It's really interesting that David Icke, say, complains of, I don't know, being connected to the hive mind, even though he already is. I mean, right now speaking to thousands of people simultaneously, which is a selective hive mind, via a piece of tech. It's just not integrated into your brain. That's the only difference. As for Wi-Fi fields, do you think that the internet is what, a simulated reality pulled over our eyes, or just an interface? Because
no, he's saying we're already in a false reality. Sorry, I'll shut up. He's saying we're already in a false reality. They're creating a system within a system, right, David?
That's absolutely right. But there's a big difference from what the gentleman's just said, that we're in a hive mind and all that stuff as we're speaking. But you know, there's a difference between having connections with people and communication. And having the perceptions that we make of what we say and what we make of what other people say.
The system, it's going to show us the input it wants, is the issue.
Yeah, it's being given to us by a hive mind. You know, it was kind of funny how sci-fi kind of later mirrors reality. This is probably not a coincidence either. And in Star Trek, they had the Borg, and the Borg were kind of a kind of part technological kind of race, and what they did was infuse people with like nano probes to make them part of the Borg hive mind, the collective as they called it. And those nano probes we now call smart dust, nanobots, nanotechnology, all these things. And this is all building this hive mind that I'm talking about. And like I say, communication is fine and interaction is fine. We should have it. Of course we should. That's why I'm glad the Putin interview happened. But there's a big difference between that and having our perceptions controlled in
And David, let me say this. Notice how the globalists want to kill individual free communication in the internet. They want it to all be through this filter, which is another form of the virtual reality paradigm you're talking about. But I forget the name of the person commenting. But sir, do you want to have a comeback to David Icke? Go ahead. Is he gone? Okay.
I'm still here.
You have a quick comeback to that? Go ahead.
Yeah, you're already connected to all of this. You think that everything is different or that we don't have this smart dust, so to speak. You don't need smart dust when you have a device that is capable of all the things that you've mentioned, and you are already connected to the hive mind. What the hell are you communicating on right now? Who are you communicating with? All the people. Their perceptions shared through a medium of speech. Like, there is structurally no difference between having a bunch of nanobots running through your bloodstream accomplishing the same thing when you're holding a device that is connected to this thing that is a field of information that is the internet. There's nothing wrong about it. There's nothing strange about it. It's just the way things are. Integrating stuff like this
into
you
can look away from the internet.
Reduces the latency and decreases the latency for information
By
transfer.
the way, I think this is Elon Musk. Is this Elon Musk?
It's really not. No, it's really not. I'm just weird. Don't worry about it.
Well, you could be a dead ringer for him. Well, the Elon clone, what else do you want to say? Elon clone, go ahead.
Yeah, there are theories. There are theories. I don't know.
Okay.
It's kind of stupid. Sorry about it.
Well, what else would you like to say?
So, like, the concept that he's saying of we're already connected, so what's the difference?
That's the part I have a problem with.
That's the point that I'm trying to make, though, is we're already connected. You say I
could delete my Gmail
look away
account.
From
you know, I could
delete
but you
my
can't.
Gmail account.
Huh?
But you can't. Once you delete it, it's still there. It's not like you just got rid of it. It's not like you don't exist. Then you can't connect with the rest of the world.
That's exactly the point. Like, so what, we should just submit and be like, oh, you got us. Go ahead and put the chip in me like a good fucking.
It was already coming down, dude. AI has been coming down the pipeline faster than we realize for the last
really
2 decades, 3 decades.
I've been reading about it since Ray Kurzweil and the singularity, but I mean, it didn't catch me off guard. But
yeah, and what was his
first
point?
I was excited about it.
Kurzweil. No one said he was catching anybody off guard. Like, it's not catching anybody off guard. I mean, if anything,
exactly, it's right
rapid,
on time.
the rapid progression of it over the last 4 or 5 years, that might have caught some people off guard, and that's why Elon Musk himself told them to stop.
It's right on time, and it happened in conjunction with so many things that are nefarious in our government. So that's why nobody trusts it. It's not like it just is happening and no one understands it. They just made us take a fucking shot we didn't want to take, and like everybody had to close their businesses.
They make me take it.
I'm just saying, they tried to make a bunch of people in the military take it, and people were quitting their jobs and everything else, getting out early so that they didn't have to do it. And
I was talking about this with my girl recently. Is that I was talking to my girl about this recently, and the problem is people don't stand up. There's people that enjoy complacency, people that enjoy their 9 to 5, people that enjoy the slave mentality, being sheeple. They just enjoy it. It's easier.
Yeah, like they like to be in the washing machine.
The work
they like to be in the mix.
Right. So the work that it takes to be in conflict with the powers that be, like those are called revolutionaries, and not everybody's revolutionary.
Right.
Not everybody's gonna stand up and be a fucking Malcolm X. Not everybody's gonna stand up and be a fucking, Farrakhan or fucking,
and it all depending on your temperament and your personality. Right.
Right. But what I'm saying is those people, the ones that you're saying, oh, well, you can just turn your way from the internet. Yeah, those people can't. They don't know how. They won't. They will not. And the thing is if there's more positives than negatives to augmenting your brain, like for instance, they were showing the drone work and they were showing the paraplegics and stuff like that. This is what I was talking about. Like this will get used in science and proven in science for good. And then it will hold its place, and then the nefarious will grab hold of it. It's not like it's supposed to be nefarious from the beginning.
It's like when they regulated flight, and you're not allowed to have your own airplanes and stuff like that. You can't just fly around wherever you feel like it. Basically, it became closed off to us. And, we regulate the hell out of it to where you can't go up in the airspace. That's a big fine if you're up there without, talking to the right people. And, it makes sense. It's part of society and fitting in, but there's never going to be room for you, the entrepreneur, in the world that we live in today. They want to just move you into a 15-minute city where you don't have any responsibilities and you're not planning on starting any kind of big empire. They're already built. And it's not.
But see, that's where I think that's where I think that you're kind of wrong in that sense, because I think that everybody at some point in time has started a business or has tried to have not like an empire, but has dabbled in how much work it takes to run a business, a company, take care of, have responsibilities outside of your own, stuff like that. And only a select hand, like I said, not everybody's built to be a revolutionary. You know what I mean? Some people are just wired differently to be able to say, fuck that, I'm going to go get my pilot's license, do everything that the FAA needs me to do, and I'm going to get up in the fucking sky because it's my right to be up in the sky if I want to. I just got to jump through those hoops. Like, for instance, a really good friend of mine who just passed away recently, we've had an argument before about the Second Amendment, carrying a gun. And essentially, it's not so much God-given, yes, you can carry a gun and protect yourself. It's not about that as much as it's about, in society, there are people that have fucked that up for everybody, right? And so they have to put in these guidelines so that they can weed out the wrong ones, the evildoers, this, that, and the other. The problem is they don't understand that giving too much power to the criminal, or giving too much power to the government, gives too much power to the criminal. When if you gave the power to the people, the government would have less control and the criminals would go away.
Do you think the Bill of Rights is outdated?
No, I don't.
So anyone that's not a felon should have the right to own a weapon?
Within reason. Well, the Bill of Rights has nothing to do with the Second Amendment, but yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. What's the Second Amendment? Well, it's just part of the
That's
amendment.
part of the Constitution. That's the Constitution. That's not the Bill of Rights.
Okay.
And the problem is so if you're asking, do I think that the Second Amendment or the Constitution itself, do I think that in writ large, do I believe that it is out of date? I would say that I believe that they wrote it in such a way that it would be timeless. Like, you don't say God-given rights, inalienable rights, privileges. You don't put those type of language. You don't put that type of language in a document with the thought process that God will never exist. Right? You never like say like a God-given anything and then expect the government to come in and be like, God doesn't exist, so we'll take it from you. You know what I mean? It's like we still have "In God We Trust," and we still have that type of language on our Capitol buildings.
And at that time, there were atheistic groups working for power too, in the different secret groups and whatnot. So for, the whole "In God We Trust" is like a bouncing ball because everybody believes in a God. Some people believe in the God of evil, and they devote their work to that. So it's hard to know what people mean when they're like, oh yeah, we're just trusting in God while we go to war, or the God of this group of people, or the God of this way of life, So
I also wanted to correct myself. The Bill of Rights and the Constitution go hand in hand. So the amendments are part of the Bill of Rights in the overarching Constitution.
Okay.
I
listened to it recently, and well, thanks for the vindication. I listened to it recently, and it was, it was inspiring. It was way longer than I expected it to be. I just listened to it while I'm driving. But dude, it goes on and on, Old dude's like really spelled it out, what would happen in different times, or if like we were taken over by a king or whatever. I need to listen to it again, but yeah, so I guess we were talking about gun rights, so you think that anybody over 18 has the right to go buy an AR?
My thing is do you believe that 18 is the legal age for a soldier to go and fight a war to protect your freedom?
Yeah. I mean,
do you think that's too young, or do you think it's arbitrary?
I mean, I liked ROTC programs and stuff, and I think that
I wasn't asking you what you like. I'm not asking you what you like. I'm asking
saying, like that
when your son.
That's the age when you get that in you to want to do that. I mean, for me, like that's when I was ready to go join the military. I don't know, like they get you when you're ready to shoot a gun, I guess.
I mean, my thing is, would you let your son, like, if your son wanted to join the Air Force, Army, Marines, Navy, Coast Guard, Space Force at 18 years old, would you let him go?
Whenever he had a sense of what was going on, and he loved his country and all this other
No,
stuff.
I'm not asking
patriotic.
I'm not asking.
Then, that
like, you can have all the opinions. You can have all the opinions you want about your son joining, but ultimately, at 18 years old, he can go sign on the dotted line and go without your consent.
I signed at 17 with my parents' consent.
Whatever, 17 and a half, 18, whatever. What I'm saying is that 18 years old, your child can go join the military.
I know. I've thought about that, but again, you know, when a kid gets to that age, sometimes, like, Jude's autistic, that might be the perfect thing for him to go, like, get into a routine somewhere where he does the exact same thing all the time. He's super smart. And, you know, he might end up at, you know, the Pentagon or something. So, you never know. Can you see me okay?
Did you
Because
see
I'm
that?
frozen.
You are frozen.
Oh, really? It said actual recording is higher quality. So maybe that's just the preview.
I mean, I know yesterday when you showed me the video
Let me
of
stop
the
it at
recordings.
15 minutes and I'll start another one. Huh?
No, it's fine. I'm just saying. I know yesterday when you sent me the recording of what we did, there was no blurry, there was no nothing. There was no jumps, hiccups. There wasn't anything.
Right. Cool.
I gotta turn the AC on. I'm
Well,
dying.
let's listen to some more of that Musk.
Sir.
Turned out to be a pretty good little discussion.
I just think this. I just think it is ironic. I mean, you want to talk about the simulation? Everybody started speaking of the topic of simulation, how we're in this false reality ever since the Matrix movie dropped. A lot of people are afraid of it, but they don't even understand the context. Everyone's so afraid of it. When in reality, everybody got afraid of being integrated with machines and how machines were advancing faster than the things that come thereby here caused the disaster, which then caused the simulation within the Matrix. It's crazy.
I agree with that.
And even then, everybody bases their ideology of the simulation based off of the movie that they haven't even fully understood. Because if you did, you'd realize that there is no real world at all. I mean, what do you think this is? And even if it is a simulation, what are you going to do? You got to break it? What's the point? I mean, you can claim, you can build really cool shit, you can craft it and make it better. I think that's what you have to do. If you're going to break it, that's just an equivalent of killing yourself. And if you're going to break it for everyone else, that's called mass murder. That's called genocide. So don't break the simulation. I don't understand the resistance for understanding the world in which we're in, to the extent that we say we could shape it to make it better, but we're just trying to understand it to break it.
See, that's what I'm trying to say. Is like you're like you have the approach of, oh well, I can't turn the simulation off. I can't turn the internet off, right? I can turn away and look away from it and be done with it. It's like, but no, you can't. Like, eventually cars are going to be hooked up to the internet. Your fucking all of your money. Like, do you keep your bank cash in a mattress underneath your bed? It's like, no, you keep your money digitally in a bank. Like, everything's going to be wrapped up in this system of the internet. So it's like pointless to run away from it. It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah. I understand, but you still have like
whoever this is, please don't hang up. We're on radio station. We have to go to break in a moment. But David Icke, you're talking to somebody.
We have to go to break. Elon Musk is his twin.
What?
You know, there's an urge to get your money out of the bank and invest it in new things. That's the whole point of having money, you know. Just sitting there, like,
I mean, you just got through telling me.
It's not doing you any good.
You just got through telling me that the system doesn't want me to do anything.
You could be buying up, you know, stocks and whatnot with that extra money, which you probably do if you had a bunch of money because you want your money to make money. So I'm just saying, money is currency. It's not like a money bin full of gold like Scrooge McDuck, you know.
His thing was saying this call.
Well, is it better that we know about the reality that we're in and how we're creating it and what it's designed to do, or not to know and be in complete ignorance of the very reality we're experiencing? What people do with the knowledge of understanding the reality that they are in is up to them completely. But we should surely be pursuing an understanding of what is this place, what are we doing here, Otherwise, you know, we just go through life being pawns of a game. We don't.
We gotta ask the ex-poster that socials like Elon Musk, Dead Ringer. Please stay there if you can. We're on radio stations. We have to at least break twice an hour. We gotta go to a 3-minute break. Come right back. I hope the caller stays there. Socials like Elon Musk. But I get the point of the Elon Musk sounding person. He's saying we don't use tools like the Native Americans didn't have guns, so they lost. He's saying why not use it? It's kind of what I'm getting. But we'll come right back and have the person that sounds just like Elon Musk, a little bit of an angry Elon Musk, finish up what he wants to say, and then it'll get David Icke. This is Twilight Zone right now. God, David Icke, and I've been on it for 2.5 until all this has been numbered. Unless our border out the internet 5 years ago, we stayed on air was because we're on the old system, but it's being phased out. All right, we have Adrian Dittman, who is a dead ringer for Elon Musk. And I just want to give Adrian Dittman the floor. Got cut off by the break of the David Icke encounter. Adrian, I hope you're still there. Go ahead. David Icke encounter. Adrian, I hope you're still there. Go ahead. Where were we at? You were getting cut off. You were explaining why not engage it. You were explaining your view on AI and computers and the systems versus what I guess people could call kind of a troglodyte view. But I guess people could call kind of a troglodyte.
We like to view it as the humans have this existential paradox built into them. We initially want to surpass anything that surpasses us or eliminate it if we can. This is why we're afraid of anything
sounds like Big Brother.
For instance, when you look at AI and what it's capable.
Sounds like Big Brother.
Yeah, he sounds like the intercom in 1984. You know, just like coaches you through the day. Or like the giant voice. But go ahead. He's a smart guy.
He sounds like fucking Elon Musk.
Of, and we look at the fact that we are capable of, say, generating a simulated reality in which we can do almost anything. We start to ask these questions and say, oh my God, let's look within real quick and then see how that is being projected out into the world and how much of what we think is not real is real. So it's like if you think of ourselves and how we navigate through the world, we are like a machine that continually projects out into the world a web of assumptions that then gets adjusted by whatever structure is someone else perceives or we perceive. And then we internalize that to how we think it's reality. So by default, whatever version of reality that we think is real is exceedingly limited to our senses. So I agree in the sense that we don't see much of our reality. Say what everybody's saying, we should see the Wi-Fi field. I think all of this is possible. We could actually see or say perceive rather more of the reality that is around us if we were to augment ourselves as opposed to discarding the augmentation. If AI, for instance, gets connected to us, I don't think it's going to be the end of us. It's just going to help us evolve faster and better. You see, you can't beat this thing. It's better than us. It is not just better than us. It is all of us put together.
Is this a repeat? What's going on?
In one thing, simplified, without the biological constraints that every other human brain has. It is actually quite a beautiful technology, but it is also risky. And I think the risk factor is something that should be spoken of, but in a realistic sense, to the point that we don't stop its development. To the point of
Please don't go. Let's get David Icke's response. David Icke, stay there. David.
Can we just get this right? Is this Elon Musk or not? Never mind the name. Is it Elon Musk or what?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Someone told me in the break, oh, this is definitely Elon Musk. Well, that's all right.
No, look, it's like a surprise birthday party. Like, surprise!
Let's just say it's Elon Musk.
Maury Povich or something.
Okay. What I was saying is,
still here.
People need to understand what is happening and what they're part of. And then maybe they can make some choices about how they respond to it. But if you're living in a reality which is not the reality you think you're experiencing, and someone is manipulating that reality, they manipulate your perception, they manipulate you, then that needs exposing. And it's all right talking about AI this, AI that. But AI is designed to take over the human mind and therefore replace it. People like Ray Kurzweil at Google, so-called futurist, has openly talked about this years ago, that by 2030 this will be and eventually, once the connection is made, the AI will do more and more of human thinking until human thinking as we know it is basically negligible. And that's the end of humans as we
And I think what Adrian said, because I want a piece of this. He said,
we don't want to have VR goggles that get into the false reality by some company, but what about
well, if you have a chip in your brain, and it's feeding you a sense of reality, then it's whatever feeding you that sense of reality is giving you your sense of reality.
Well, let's say it accesses part of the brain for infrared. It's not telling you what to see. It just allows you to see infrared, which your brain now does.
No. I'm talking about where it's meant to go. It's meant to go to the end result. And Kurzweil said this. And others have said it too, that it's meant to go to the point where you get your perceptions delivered. And what are your perceptions? They are your sense of reality. And this is a very dark and dangerous road. And I don't care if it's a hard sell or it's a soft sell. It's a dangerous road. It's not a world I want to live in.
Well, I think Elon Musk has said beware those that worship AI gods, but Adrian, you seem to have some opinions on this. I mean, you don't know Elon Musk, obviously, but from researching him, what do you think his views are, what he wants?
He wants, well, it's clear that he wants to augment us with AI and various other tech to enhance the experience of the world, and to also make us more capable of maneuvering through the world. Right, that seems to be his thing. But if I go to David Icke's point, I think it's not that you're afraid of saying, you're not concerned of the fact that our perceptions themselves are going to be delivered by a piece of tech, but that they are delivered to you in an altered format that somehow benefits whatever centralized entity created that tech. Is that correct?
I'm talking about having our perceptions delivered by an external force.
Yeah.
With the intention.
But he's what he asked him was not, are you worried about the perceptions being given to you, but are you worried about the perceptions being manipulated by, say, the powers that be?
Lost you for a second.
Are you still there?
Yeah, now I'm back. You said what he's asking is,
no,
are you worried about the perceptions being given to you? And then
well, that's what he said. Is he goes, are you worried about the perceptions that are being given to you? He's like, you're not really worried about the perceptions that are being given. You're worrying about the perceptions being altered when they're given to you by, say, big banks, big
the way I look
whatever.
at it, it's like a mandatory hallucinogenic. Like that's something that should be a choice. And if everybody's going to tap into this new technology and be connected and be an improved human being, then it's going to be out of your control. And you're going to be tapped in. Basically, they're holding you down and putting the acid in your mouth. And that's just wrong. We don't do that. Hold on. We don't trick people. We don't trick people into hallucinating, and we don't.
You cut out. I can't hear
you. You would never trick a person into taking mushrooms. Like you'd only give it to somebody that absolutely was interested in it. That would be rude of you to try to trick somebody and make them out of their body. You know what I mean? And basically, I think a lot of people feel like exactly what I just said. No,
you're
earlier.
You were saying earlier when it comes to the internet,
a lot of people
that you can avert your eyes and not look at the internet. And I think at some point in time you won't be able to do that. And now you're saying that augmenting your brain is being forced on you?
Basically, I mean, not just augmenting your brain. You don't know what the possibility will be. Listen to him talk about the cells that are attached, that they have to attach cells to these chips so that they will integrate with your brain. And that's a done deal after that, dude. It's like planting an oak tree in your
What I'm saying
backyard.
is people are doing that to themselves. They're not saying, "Oh, this is, I guess the government told me I need to put this chip in my brain, so I'm gonna fucking do it."
Exactly.
People are
So
paying
some people want
for
to
this to be
go
done.
trip DMT, and some people don't. Like my dad and other people do not want to do hallucinogenics, no matter what, no matter how good they are, they're not doing it. And those
What are you
people,
talking about?
I'm talking about people that refuse the psychedelic experience. This whole AI thing is about psychedelia. If you listen to Terrence McKenna back in the 90s when they were inventing the internet, it was he and a bunch of guys, part of the acid test, that developed AI. And dude, listen to Terrence McKenna's lectures on AI and how he was a part of like the first AI environment. And he got to go into a world that had more square footage than the earth or something. But yeah, dude, the AI concept came from the LSD generation, psychedelia, and you know, some of the hallucinogenics out there are going to alter your perception. You have no control. It's not like a fun time, it's like a scary time. And if they have that ability with a button to make it a scary time for you, that takes away like the protective aspect of your psyche, you know, like your belief in God and your defense from spiritual influences. That might just be like the door to Pandora's box to let all this crap that you usually block out directly into your psyche. And you know, yeah, you might evolve, but you might you might, you know, become something that you didn't intend to, and then be trying to figure out like why you're immortal now. And you know, you got to drink like the blood of like whatever.
You're on some other shit, bro. I don't think it's all. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think
Yeah, it
it's
is. Hit play.
like I like you go off on these fucking like drinking the
Is that a
blood.
problem if the perceptions that
Hey,
you're
why
being
do you think
delivered
Elon
are
Musk called
more
in to
than-
talk to David Icke? David Icke didn't call
I mean,
in to
you're
talk to Elon Musk. Elon Musk called in incognito to talk to David Icke. Just keep that in mind,
That's if you believe.
because he makes
I mean,
sense.
also,
And
you're keeping it-
they don't like him making sense to everyone, because making sense will
Who?
help to
David
free
Icke
you
or
from
Elon?
your own cage. All right.
Who makes sense, Elon or David Icke?
They both make sense, but David Icke is
A conspiracy
he makes
theorist.
more he makes
World-renowned.
more sense to me, dude.
Yeah, because you're a conspiracy theorist. So
You're a
is he.
spiritual person, or maybe you're not, but you know, your spirituality is a strong thing, and you have it for a reason. It helps you, it defends you in the world of spiritual entities. And they're talking about just like taking that
Spirituality
problem away
is-
from you and making you happy when you need to be.
Spiritualness is almost like psychedelics too, if you want to have that conversation.
Well,
Spiritual
I mean,
escapism.
I don't know
Get
what
away
your
from here.
relationship. I don't know how you. I don't know how you view yourself, or if you believe in God or pray to God or whatever. But that's spirituality to me. Like the thing that you like bear down on and you know, put your energy into, that you call God, that you look toward. If something's just not like connecting, or maybe that hasn't happened for you, and hey, bro, you know, that's cool too. But I've gone through some stuff where, you know, I definitely depend on my spiritual
What you already get.
side.
You have a bunch of sensors that are available to you right now. Like, say, for instance, your eyes. You have your limbs that sense differences in temperature. You have sensors. You have sensors.
Those are already being manipulated. Those are already being manipulated, right, Adrian?
Yeah, but how's that a bad thing? Yeah, but how's that a bad thing? This on its own, it seems very benign.
I don't understand where the negative element is. I can only assume that where the negative element
is that somehow what is being given to you is false or steers you in a particular direction that benefits centralized entity that is manipulating your perceptions and the data that's delivered to you. That is then therefore your perception.
I think it does come down to where the feed comes from. David, you see what he's saying?
Exactly that. Well, you know, augmented reality, you can stick that in a dark place anyway, from my point of view. But you know, I'm 72. That's my coming up. That's my perception. But if I'm being delivered a sense of perception that gets me to stand up and walk out of this room now, when I wouldn't do that if I was sitting here. That is not augmented reality. That is a takeover of reality. And if you are a force that wants to control people, and what are we talking about, Alex? What are we talking about in terms of this global? What are we talking about? What I say is non-human entity.
What?
Oh, it was freezing for me. I don't know about you, but you can go ahead and continue with it if you can hear it. I heard it earlier, but
it is working through it. And your World Economic Forum and all these people, they're seeking to dictate our sense of reality. This is what reality.
So listen, another question, Adrian. Let me
throw that out at you. Tucker Carlson says he believes interdimensional entities are manipulating reality already through this simulation. We all basically know this is. I think we're all agreeing that's pretty much what we're in. We haven't figured it out yet.
Adrian's saying we use our own systems to break through that and find out what's happening. Maybe I'm putting words in his mouth. But regardless, having a debate about this, an open discussion, I think is really healthy. But Adrian, what do you think about the idea that aliens are coming from a distant star system, but have actually always been here, like I've said, that Carlson said, and that there is a manipulation already of the reality. And that there is manipulation already.
I mean, I haven't seen any actual definitive evidence of aliens. The only proof that we have is really shoddy footage, potentially even altered stuff that, of course, it's been exposed to be as such. But I mean, it's an interesting theory for sure, and one that does bear a considerable amount of logic. But still, I mean, I haven't seen any really convincing evidence for aliens. I mean, you could say, oh, well, you have some infrastructure that's really difficult for humans to build, so potentially a force was here at some other point, or potentially we have destroyed some other point, than this.
You think Tucker Carlson is CIA? No, I didn't say everybody. I said you. And I said you. Do you actually think that Tucker? No, he tried to join. No, he said he tried to join. If you know anything about Tucker Carlson, he wanted to be a part of the CIA, FBI. He wanted to be in the industry. He wanted to be in the industry, and he was denied. And so he got into this. So if you're saying that he secretly was accepted and then all of a sudden became a fucking plant, then that's weird. So so that means Ben Shapiro is a fucking plant. That means Anderson Cooper's a plant. That means everybody's a fucking plant. Everybody's a plant. Everybody's lying to you. Everybody, nobody, you've never Rachel, Rachel Maddow's a plant. Fucking, they're all plants. All of them. Everybody's lying to you. Everybody's telling you false information. What I'm saying is what's the fucking point then? What's the point then? What's the point then? What's the point then? What about it? Like Elon Musk, like fucking Adrian, whatever the guy said. It's like that's. I'm not. No, what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is if this guy is, if he's right, the fake Elon Musk, if he's right, he said that if we're in a simulation and it's all fake, then what are we doing? Are we trying to break it? Because if we're trying to break it, then it's genocide. So what are we doing? No, no, no. I'm asking you. The fuck are you talking about? Hold on. You can't just say you can't just say black magic is in charge of shit and not give me an example of what you mean by that. What the fuck does that mean? What proof do you have? Like what has George Bush done that had made you believe that he was a I mean, you so I'm not really sure what you said, but I mean, Skull and Bones, sure. The secret societies, Illuminati's, fucking under the table handshakes, money going here, money going there, whatever, blah blah blah. Fucking and shit, fucking drinking, you know, little kid blood and shit. Like I got it. Yes, I've heard of it. Right, right, right. My thing is like, okay, if you're telling me that everything's a fucking conspiracy, nothing's real, all the things are fake, people are lying, you know what I mean? If that's the case, no, that's not what he just said. That wasn't Elon Musk or whatever. He didn't. He didn't. He said what? So what do you do? Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm just saying, like, you and all the other conspiracy theories that are just 100% doom and gloom, and the world's going to end, and blah 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 blah. And no, I'm not. This is what you got wrong. I don't know if you're accusing me of putting the headset on and fucking whatever, but no, I don't plan on augmenting my brain. I don't plan on augmenting my brain, but what I was trying, the point that I'm trying to make is if the augmentation was originally for good and then it gets used for bad, then that's normal science interaction with the population. I mean, it's not normal. It's not normal playing God. It's like there's one hand where it's like, okay, well, do we have a westernized medicine view, better understanding of the human brain? Can we bring somebody's limb function back? Is that playing God? You know what I mean? It's like if there's an opportunity to bring someone's limb function back, or to slow down a sickened lymphatic system, or to cure fucking cancer, or fix something. You know what I mean? Like if there's whatever, dude. I don't care what the scientists want to do. What I'm saying is if there's something that can produce a positive result for the human species because we've gained the knowledge. I don't care if we learned it from aliens or fucking whatever. Wherever the information came from, if we're using it for good, I don't I don't see what the fucking problem is. Yeah. Yeah, 100. What do I think? Like the entire societal idea has happened before. Well, yeah, if you understand the whole concept of like the flood and the Anunnaki and the fucking Homo sapiens and the fucking what are the other Neanderthals? If you believe all of that happened, then yeah, I mean, I don't think like for instance, I was talking to my girl recently, and she's Christian believer, this that, and the other, and at some point in time, you talk to her, and she's kind of making it sound like she believes the creationist theory of like you know, bam, now there's humans. And I'm sitting there going, no, that's not even close to being true. Like, it didn't just go, bam, there's humans. There was like a long, lengthy, multitude of the Earth going into multiple different cycles in order for us to form in our current state. Do I believe that Adam and Eve may have been the origination of our species? Sure. Do I believe that Adam and Eve may not have been the same species to create us? Because if I believe in evolution, then of course that's the case. You know what I mean? Two species get together, form a fucking mutation of some sort, and now you have a different species. This is how it happens all the time. No, I've not torn my Achilles, thank God. I blew my knee. Well, no, I was reading something about like the pharaohs um, in the Bible. Like the actual pharaohs were technically like the biblical figures. Like like Moses was an actual pharaoh. Um, I can't remember what I was watching, but it was like all of these different pharaohs that well, what I'm saying is what I'm saying what I'm saying is all of these biblical people, like um, there was never really an escape of the Israelites out of Egypt. It was that was the story that they told you to steer you away from the fact that Egypt was the biblical time. Like the fucking the right, and like the I'm trying to think of what I was remembering. Like the one thing that blows my mind outside of all of this nonsense is the ancient alien concept of like the different planets that are in our fucking solar system that we don't really know about, and the yeah, that, and then there's stories that are being told that are the exact same, thousands and thousands of years apart from each other, or at least thousands and thousands of miles apart from each other. Like that's the part that throws me for a loop, where it's like the stories that are being told. Like every modern civilization on the planet has a story of the flood, and that well, you've had the thought process a long time ago. We've talked about this, whether it's drug induced or not. Talking about like vibrations and how music is part of the universe, like greater, like more than we give it credit to, and this that, and the other. I understand that. I just like things that I've seen about like the alignments of the stars and stuff, and I don't know. It's weird to give the concept of God as a spiritual being, and then the fact that we can literally pinpoint historically where humans on Earth have stated that they've been visited. You know what I mean? Like that's the wildest thing, is that humans in the past have claimed to have been visited by something, and then those stories have been streamlined, mainlined, made like canon, and then now all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, this faction calls it Allah, this faction calls it God, this faction calls it Buddha, this, you know what I mean? And it's wild that, and then so it's like when I'm talking to my girl, and she's just like, so you not believe in God? And I'm like, no, I believe in God. I just believe that everybody kind of has the same concept of God. It's really hard to like put your finger on which one God is real and is right. I think they're all right.
Before all time, there was the moon, a sea of chaos, where all forms of what was to be lay hidden. Of the living moon stirred the spirit of the waters.
Oh, is that why your camera's off? Why don't you just get a webcam?
From the coils of Atum.
Yeah, except your camera always freezes and shit.
And the one came too. Atum in his coils, binding tightly to his weakened nature, trying to become one with himself again. But Atum transformed himself into the scarab god of becoming and broke free of his embrace. The serpent of chaos fought to return Atum to the heart of the moon.
You know I'm watching this, right?
But Atum overpowered lying now in waters. Atum thought of his children. In his heart he created their names and spoke them. She, the air, Tefnut, the moisture, and they were given form. He and Tefnut embraced their father Atum, then left him to explore the limits of the new. Alone once more in the dark waters of the noon, mind's eye, Atum watched the children lose strength as they ventured too far. Atum took the divine power of his eye and sent it to light their way home.
It's fucking weird. This is to guide the children home.
the light of his eye. A new eye grew, and in this new eye, Atul saw the return of his children.
So he grew a new eye.
When the first eye returned, she was in fury at the one who had taken her place and tried to destroy it. But Atum placed her on his brow as his royal protector.
Ah, okay.
In his heart, Atum created the first dry land. Command his children, She and Tebnut, brought it into being. From the mound, Atum spoke the name of his soul bird.
Yeah, okay.
Bennu landed on the first
From
dry
the
land
mound,
and
they
laid
spoke
his
the
egg,
phoenix.
which was the lotus bud of the dawn of creation.
So basically they were saying that the pyramids were built during creation.
From the heart of the lotus was born the god, the divine light.
That's everywhere. It's pagan.
Atum joined with the light of his creation, and Ra came into being. The light of Ra dispelled the dark.
Okay.
On the mound, She and Tefnut gave rise to Keb, and Nut, the starry night sky. Nut swallowed Ra, who came between her and the embrace of her brother Earth. Together, Geb and Nut conceived 5 children, born till Shu, the heir, raised his daughter, the night sky, from the earth, so that the star children could break free.
What?
The star children were Osiris, god of corn and of renewal, Isis and Nephthys, and their jealous brother Set.
Set. The jealous brother Set.
Osiris was beloved of his sisters, but Set claimed Nephthys for his own.
Nephthys.
Osiris and Isis were lovers.
Had to.
Osiris lay as the earth. And Isis nourished the seas.
What? A bunch of seeds?
From the dip sprang the first seeds of creation which landed in the black earth, and the land of Egypt came. Isis threw down the waters of the heavenly Nile to give life to the land of Egypt. The waters rose, and Osiris called forth the first garden.
You know, have you heard that theory that the reason why they always break the noses off of the Egyptian statues is because if you could tell what type, you can usually tell what race the person is by their nose.
Osiris and Isis were lord and queen of this divine garden, and their sister Nephthys came to be with them there. But Set was jealous of the creative powers of Osiris and of the love Nephthys bore him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I heard that they chiseled off their noses so that
the garden with a
I heard
raging
two different things.
sandstorm,
I heard they chiseled off noses
black earth.
because they knew that they were black, and so they didn't want to give power to the current day populations of black people. And then I've heard that they the face was like the window to like the soul, like the afterlife, and so breaking the face like meant that they couldn't come back to haunt you. I don't know. Man, this shit's an hour long, bro. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I gotta go around again. I'll be right back.
Mars and the fact that the atmosphere of Mars, you look at the levels of xenon within that. And so it's like, there are a lot of questions that need to be asked. We really need to go there and check out what exactly happened there. But regardless of that, I mean, maybe, but I haven't seen any definitive evidence for aliens.
All right, well, that's a perfect Elon Musk answer. So it's either an amazing advanced AI of Elon Musk or it's Elon Musk, Adrian Gitman.
Rogue AGI.
Rogue AGI. Okay. David Icke, if you had a chance, and maybe Elon will listen to this later, and wanted to ask Elon a few questions instead of, I get you're on your points, but if you were talking to Elon Musk, which we, okay.
Well, if that was Elon Musk, this is ridiculous. This is the playground, for goodness sake. What I was going to say is that what he's talking about is really low-level stuff. He's talking about going to Mars. Mars is just in our reality. It's just another part of the bloody simulation. And I'm not saying that aliens are coming from other planets.
So
I'm saying
Columbus coming to America was just a simulation.
Well, everything that happens in our reality is people consciousness operating within a simulation, not realizing it's a simulation, unless they are in the inner core of the cult, and then they bloody will. And I'm saying these non-human entities are based in another dimension, which is very close to this one and interpenetrates it, but is not of a wavelength that our eyes can see. That's why we don't see them. The point I was making is one thing. I mean, let's just get down to the basis of this. You've spent years, I've spent years, decades and all that, exposing this global cult and its desire to create a dystopia, a global dystopia based on AI control. And we've got people like Klaus Schwab, who are openly for years now saying that yes, that's what that's augment ourselves and have AI, and then it will tell us what to do, and we'll know better, and we'll be gods and stuff, according to people like Kurzweil. Now, does anyone think Elon Musk, or whatever he bloody calls himself in his that name, does he believe that those that are creating this AI system of control, which on one level operates as digital currencies and 15
No, I get where you're going. So let's go back to Adrian, who can't speak for Elon Musk, can speak for Adrian. What about, I've noticed the globalists say they want to ban any other independent AIs. They're worried about it. They want their own AI. What is your response to that?
The running logic would be that everyone else's AIs are developed in such a manner that they pose a potential risk. Keep in mind, these are the same types of people who read a few AI research, now AI researchers, even though they just repeat what they have received in verbatim, which ironically makes them more of an AI, the AIs that they're building, because that's essentially just training data, and you're spitting it back out again with no actual innovation assigned to it, because you're not creatively connecting other points of data in a way that they haven't been connected before. So, I mean, okay, yeah, sure, I get the logic behind that. I mean, I've read a lot about AI safety. I'm not an expert by any means, not even close, but I would say this is the logic that I see personally. This is more an actual definitive take in terms of the fact that I believe is true. I just think there's fear. It's just that fear. If there's malicious intent behind that, that still remains to be seen. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. But if you look at the prime motivator for all of this, it is fear. What is the first thing that any safetyist tells you about? It's the paperclip scenario. Are we familiar with the paperclip scenario?
I am, but tell people.
Yeah, it's very simple. That you give an agent a set goal that says, hey, it's a benign agent. It's an agent that does not seek to destroy anything, but its goal is to turn things into paper clips, to manufacture paper clips. And so eventually it realizes, oh, I could create a whole bunch of more paper clips if I say arrange the atoms that are inside of your body in such a way that it becomes in a paperclip, and that it begins paperclipping the fucking universe at some point when it reaches critical mass. Right? This is obviously bad, because then it kills all of humanity in the pursuit of creating paperclips. It's not trying to do this because it hates humanity. It's just doing this because it's misaligned. It doesn't understand we needed paper clips, but we also want to exist ourselves, right? And so we throw this around and say, oh, so here's the thing. We've developed this exceedingly complicated system, what most people like to refer to as a black box AI. We cannot look at it. We don't understand what it is, even if we tried, because it's too complex to actually perceive. And now we have these things running around, and we have these centralized entities that are very experienced in building technologies that are running the world currently, saying, hey, we can develop this faster, but we have to do it slower. And then we have people who rebel against it saying, hey, I got the GPUs. I got 200 GPUs in the back of my truck right now, and I'm going to make an AI faster than you can, and they do because they take more than you can. They do because they. This is another aspect to AI safety where yourself they say, oh shit, you have to be safe about this, and if we're not safe about this, then.
So you're saying the AI? You're saying the AI Wild West? You're saying the AI Wild West, the AI wars are here, Adrian?
I mean, you can run an AI on a small little Apple Watch right now if you wanted to. Just gut it. The computer's there. You have a Mac Mini. You can run an AI on that. The computer's already here. You just the training is a little problem, but you can definitely run it, and someone else can build it.
Adrian, we're really glad you called. Please give David Icke a closing comment, because the show only has 8 minutes left. I'm going to give Adrian a closing comment, and then we're going to go to the 4th hour with the guest host that's here. And it's my 50th birthday. Somebody's demanding to give me a birthday cake. I love them, but it's whatever. We'll see if that happens. But the point is that David Icke, Adrian's still there. This has been quite the interview. It's going to get a lot of attention. And just closing comments, David Icke.
What am I exposing? What have I been exposing all these years? It's an agenda to ultimately replace the human mind with artificial intelligence, so artificial intelligence becomes the human mind. I've been writing about it for decades. And step by step by step, we move closer and closer to that all the time. That is not an accident. It's the World Economic Forum agenda, it's the Gates agenda, it's the global cult agenda to do that. And we can talk about, oh, well, we could have regulation here or regulation there, and or whatever, augmented reality there. But the bottom line is that what's unfolding is the takeover of human perception. How has it been done so far? It's been done by controlling information. So you can censor what you don't want people to hear, because that will affect their perception in a way that you don't. What you don't want people to all of information, people get their perceptions from information received. It might be a personal experience, it might be an item on the news, it might be something they see on Facebook. But their perceptions are controlled by the information they receive and how they process them. What I'm saying is that this is meant to go to a whole new stage. No longer is it necessary to manipulate information to manipulate perception, because your perceptions will come direct. And, you know, this is where it's going.
You understand? Yeah, amazing. We understand. When your book comes out in a few months, look forward to speaking to you. DavidIcke.com, Iconic.com. Thank you so much, David Icke.
All right, mate. Thank you very much. Been great.
That was powerful.
All the best, Elon.
All right.
Yeah.
It's not Elon. It's just somebody that sounds just like him. It sounds just as smart as him. So I'm going to shut up for Adrian here. So I'm going to shut up for the whole world, the Putin interview, war, the economy. We just want to hear what Adrian has to say. Go ahead, Adrian.
Hang on, can you give me a second?
Yes, Adrian. You've got the floor to talk about just in general your view on the world.
No, just like literally give me a second. Something's about to explode.
All right, something's about to explode. There's David Icke right there.
No mention of God or base reality. No mention of base reality or God. The reality we live in is real. We live in is real, but you have to have a reality in the beginning. And then now we're going to discount God completely out of the conversation. And now we're just going to talk to and pretend that Elon Musk is not Elon Musk. And we're going to pretend that he doesn't want to put a chip in, and that Elon Musk is not playing just the tip with the chip. And once he gets that chip in and seen as Adrian's or elsewhere, then he starts fucking. Okay? Nobody's ever considered whether or not our minds are going to be taken over or our bodies. Maybe it's taken over or our bodies. Because we're cheaper. We'll live off a bowl of rice. And we fix ourselves.
No, Matt, I hear you. But we're having a great talk with Elon Musk. I'm going to come back to you. We got all, or not Elon Musk, good fella. Adrian, is whatever blew up fixed now? Can you talk to us?
Yeah. Well, I can't heavily diverting towards Star Trek-esque scenarios. I think if you really want to diverting towards Star Trek scenario, I think really in information warfare, probably we are more afraid of this thing than we actually should be. Now, I mean, I want you to consider this for a second. Are you guys aware of, say, a technology known as cortical apps? Do you know what that is? Does anybody know what that is?
I've read of it. Tell us.
This whole thing, basically the idea is you take a bunch of silicone and you boost what it is capable of, taking neurons and placing them on the chip. Right? This allows you to do some really cool stuff. Right? I mean, you need neurons you need neurons for various tasks, and so that would be one of them. It would be absolutely perfect. So I want you to consider something in the future. Imagine we become a suit to leave the solar system because the sun will die in a couple billion years. And potentially even the less than that, our planet will be cooked before the explosion. You know it is. Right? So the problem is you have to leave the solar system, but how the hell are you going to do that if you look at humans right now, them as a biological thing we're very inefficient. We require a lot of resources. I mean, just look at what it would take to go to Mars. You know, just look at what it would take to go to Mars. You have to look at how many supplies we have. You have to somehow figure out how to pass the time or put us in suspended animation, something we've also not figured out how to do because it's probably impossible. Remember that there was a project in the past where we were exploring, trying to freeze people. That didn't work out because, well, it ruptures your cells and it kills you. So we tried it and didn't really work. So if you can't solve that, then the obvious next step would be to take what is human and implant that into a machine. At first, we're going to have, say, a machine implanted into us, but I think at one point, our brain will be implanted into a machine once we reach, say, a certain age as an individual being, right? We'll be discarding a lot of biology, and we will probably even become less of ourselves as a result, because cooperative instance of biology made of bacteria, various other made up of many different parts. So are you, and these individual parts themselves, in fact, alive. So that would be that is the thing that I personally find worrisome, is that we discard so much of ourselves in the pursuit of, I don't know, escaping, say, our own impending doom via the sun that gave us life at first. So, yeah.
So you're saying we can make copies of ourselves? You're saying we can make copies of ourselves and send it all over the universe?
Not necessarily that. What I'm saying is that we can augment ourselves as machinery, or augment ourselves into machinery to such an extent that we can prolong our biological existence as long as possible, up until the point where eventually we'd have to consider making copies of ourselves. But that is so far in the future. There's no telling.
So you're talking about life extension. Life extension technology.
I'm talking about replacing life as you know it and completely digitizing it. That's the current trend line. If you look at it, you can harvest data from anyone and reconstruct them in a digital sense. Now, whether or not that is the way forward is still up to debate. I think we have a lot of time and a lot of innovation until we reach this point. And we don't know enough. We don't know enough of the brain. We don't know enough of the body. We don't know enough about the universe. We don't know where all the information in our head is actually being stored, or where it is coming from, how we operate, and why we have vivid hallucinations when we take certain substances like DMT or psilocybin. We know so very little about ourselves, but yet we are still pursuing trying to make digital copies of ourselves. So, I mean, this is the current trend line. I'm not saying that this is the future, but if you look at it this way, and there's really nothing else to the human body or the human brain, then that is where it goes. What it then does afterwards is completely up to debate. This is uncharted territory. It's all theory if you want to go the sci-fi route.
Wow. Well, Adrian, I imagine you have to go. We've got a whole other hour coming up with the guest hosts coming in. But I would hope that Adrian will be able to join us again here on the show. And Adrian, I appreciate you calling in. Here on X Spaces. All right, thank you. Give us a heart. All right, folks. This is Twilight Zone territory right now. David Icke, and it's obviously Elon Musk. You can't make this up.
Well, nitric oxide is a key. It's made.
What do you mean it's a setup? I'm reading. Did you not read what I was showing you? Were you not reading what I was showing you a second ago? No, this is me listening to that and going over this information. So Elon actually talked to that guy. So Elon actually had a conversation with Adrian Dittman, and they sound identical. See, he spoke with the man for about 8 minutes, and afterwards he tweeted that was next level. How do we know this is a real person? Here you go. I'll just, I'll just, I was just looking to see if I just want to know what it, like what they want to know about you. So, do you have any of the following conditions? Quadriplegia, paraplegia, visual impairment, blindness, aphasia, or the inability to speak, hearing impairment? Yeah, this is for the chip. See, you can't even do it. Do you see that? Well, it's just saying if you don't have any of these issues, then they won't let you do it. That's what I was telling you. This is going to be a medical thing first, and once it's accepted medically, then it'll start being like, all right, we're going to do some extra shit. Because once they get the brain linked to the body, then they can link the computer to the brain. You know what I mean? Once they get the... I mean, that's what Kurzweil wanted to do. Kurzweil was all about that. Are you looking at my screen? Like, well, it's this right here. Well, this is what they were talking about, the implant right here. It's like talking about the implant and the battery, the chips. And this is talking about the robot that they use to do the install. No, this goes like what, the fucking implant? The implant goes on your brain, bro. What do you mean through where? Like I would assume it's probably like a cochlear implant, like it goes like the back of your like behind your ear or something. So everybody can see it. That'd be great. Well, with his, I mean, I guess sending messages directly to another person's mind, telepathy, as he called it, his ultimate objective, a full brain machine interface where we can achieve a sort of symbiosis with AI. The Terminator? So that's my thing is like, what's the difference between this and a cochlear implant? But it's processing information for you through AI. Where'd you send it? was the Egypt thing. The House of Truth. Oh, it's pretty big. Okay.